We all love a good fairy tale, don't we? They're warm, they're fluffy, they're lovely. They glow when you read them. But not every single one is like that. Some are downright gloomy. Hello and welcome to the Friday Fantasy Show from the Bottled Imp, exploring the realms of fantasy. My name is Ken Boyter and today we are taking a little look at Fairytale Gloom, and it's designed by Keith Baker and it is from Atlas Games. It's a 2 to 5 player card game. Now, I'd heard of the original Gloom. They've got various type games in this series, all titled something Gloom or Gloom something. And I was curious. I'd heard about Gloom, I'd never played it, and then I was in my local games shop, saw this one and thought, aha, this is right up the Bottled Imp's alley. Let's take a look. Fairytale Gloom. Well, what is it all about? What's in the box? Yes, it's quite a compact box, as you can see. And that's because you get cards. There's no tokens, there's no board. It is a pure card game. And there are different types of cards. We'll go through those in a second. The aim of the game, the backstory is that you are a person who has a family, a gloomy family. You want to make your family miserable. Yes, as bizarre as it sounds, and you want everybody else to be happy. So it's whoever is the most miserable, their family, they win the game, and you make your family miserable by negative victory points. There are positive victory points, you don't want those. You want to give those to your opponents. You want the negative victory points. So that's what you're going to be doing. So let's go through the cards. There are various different types of cards, as I have already said. Now, you might have noticed already, they are slightly unusual. They are transparent. Yes, you can see right through them, which is a little bit different to normal cards, which are normally card, aren't they? And that's why they're called cards. These are plastic and they are transparent and all become clear. See what I did there? When I explain the game why that is so. But let's go through the different types of cards. Here we have a reference card that tells you what to do on your turn, what you can actually do. And it also is a little guide on the back of it for explaining some of the little icons. Now, these are very handy, as you can imagine. We also have character cards, and there are different types, and they're all from fairy tales, as you can imagine. You've got there's Snow White, you've got the Queen, that kind of archetypal characters. Then you have the event cards. They're the ones with the little winged booties. I don't know if they're winged, that's from Talisman. They're little booties on them. And we also have the modifier cards, and those ones, that's where you get the victory points, the positive and the minus victory points. And you also have the unhappy ending cards, and those will be placed on your characters to kind of finish off the game. And we also have the story cards. So how do we play Fairytale Gloom? It's pretty simple. The setup is as so. What you do is each player will look through and take 4 character cards. Now, you can decide, you could just hand them out by random, or you could obviously arm wrestle for them, or however you want to decide who is going to get which character cards. You can do that to decide. So once each player has the 4 character cards, you put them to one side. You don't need the rest of them. And what they will do is, they will then, I'll just show you a few of these actually. This is the prince. Got to have a prince if it's a fairy tale. And what's this one? This is the stepmother, of course, normally wicked. And you have, Snow White. There she is, just about to eat the apple. And we have Cinderella. There we are. So I have chosen those 4. And they are simply a marker, really. They don't have any special abilities in the cards, in those cards as such. What you do is you place them down, and what you are, as I say, they're now your family, and you're going to be trying to make them miserable. I know, sounds bizarre. And what you do then is you take the story cards and you take them as well as the reference cards. Obviously, they're not going to be in play from your hand as such. Put those to one side. Then you take the other cards. Now I'm just going to take one of each just to show as an example, but ordinarily you would shuffle all of these into a pile, and I'll quickly do that now. Hoi! Oh, as he says, dropping them. Hey, there you go. They're very slippery, as you can imagine, being plastic. So once they are shuffled, you then deal out, face down, 5 cards each. And then you have the remaining as the deck. And there will be a space for the discard pile as well. Now you will look at your cards, and I knew that would happen because I didn't really shuffle them that well, but I have got all unhappy ending cards, which might actually happen. But let's say you had one unhappy. I'm going to get a few different types just so I can show you. What's that? That's an unhappy ending card. Wow, who shuffled these? Not very well. Let's have a look. Let's take a few modifier cards. Yeah, there we go. There's a modifier card. I also wanted to show you a modifier card that has a positive. So you have 5 cards in your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each player will get 5 cards dealt to them face down, and that will be their hand. Now your turn actually comprises of 2 parts. One will be laying cards, and then you can draw back up to your hand. That's the rough sort of overview of your go. So on your turn, you'll be able to do 2 actions, and then you can draw up to your 5 cards again. So I'll just go through some of these actions. You'll be able to play an event, play a modifier, play an unhappy ending card. You'll be also able to claim a story, and you can discard and you can pass. So let's go through some of, well, all of the actual cards then. So you can play an event. Now an event are these. They're the ones with the little boots. And what you do is you will simply say, I'm playing this. I'm going to play an event. Now it has an ability at the bottom of the card. This one says, all players, including you, must remove 1 unfinished character from the game. Then remove this card from the game. So basically, you'll follow that. You'll read it out, and then most of these ones, the event cards, don't get laid onto the character cards. They get discarded. So once you do that, I would have removed one of my characters, and the other people would remove theirs. So that's what you would do for an event. Another card is the modifier cards. Now this one here, the modifier cards are made up of various components. You have the main thing is the actual points, negative and positive. And they also have a special ability here, plus they have a couple of icons that might be down the side there. So what you do with these is you will modify a character. Now it could be your own, or it could be an opponent's. So what you'll do is, this one has -25, but it also has a +10. So you might want to lay that one onto one of your cards like that. I'll just show you the close-up of that so you can see. Now the general rule here is what you can see is in play. So obviously I've modified that. So that card now has a +10 and a -25. So when you do the maths, it's actually -15. So that card has now got a score of -15. Plus it has 2 of these icons, and we'll get into those in a second. And it has this ability, which is every player whose family has a wand icon in play must discard all event cards from their hands. So when that gets played, that gets triggered. Now look, that has a wand item, so I'd have to discard any event cards that I had, as well as the other players. So that's a modifier card, and as you can imagine, sometimes, well, that's mostly what happens, you will then be adding, and other players can add on to your cards as well. So you'll be adding to this. So I might want to add onto this one, that's a -25, a -30. So that now increases my score, or decreases my score if you like. Still got the +10 because that is visible. Now it might be that there was one that actually covers up that +10. And look, that modifier card actually is a plus 25 and a plus 15, making it into a positive score. And you don't want that, you want minus. So that would be a sort of card that I would play on an opponent. And of course that wipes out those negative scores. And of course you'd still do the special ability there as well. So that's a modifier card. And then we have the unhappy ending cards. Now with that, you have to play that as your first action. You can't play a modifier card and then an unhappy ending card. You have to play it first. And it has to be played on a character that has a minus score. So if this was a minus 30, like this, well that's actually minus 20, I could still play it on that because it's a minus 20. And what that means is you are effectively ending that character's story. And that means that no more modified cards can be on that, and that's kind of it for the rest of the game, and that then gets scored at the end of the game. Those are the cards. There's also this card. Those are the cards from your hand. There's also these story cards. Now what you can do is you can claim a story on your turn, which means that you must meet the requirements. This one, for example, family must have 2 hearts. And then it says this is worth minus 5 points. Your draw limit is increased by 1 card for each character with a heart icon in the family. So obviously there's only, at the beginning of the game, you'll randomly select 2 of these that are in play. The rest will be put to one side, and there will be 2. So you know it varies up each game. You don't know which 2 you're going to get. So these 2 might be in play. All the players can look at them at any time because you might be trying to save up so you can get those conditions. So say I had 2 heart icons in play on my family cards, I could claim that one. And what that means is that is your effect that will be in play all the time while you have that card. So you can play an event card, you can play a modifier card, you can play an unhappy ending card, plus you can claim a story on your turn. You can also discard your cards, which means at the beginning of your go, you have your 5 cards, say you don't like them, you can discard them completely to the discard pile, and then you draw back up to 5. But then that is the end of your go. You don't get to play any of your cards. And also you can pass. If you simply think, well, there's nothing I can do, or you don't want to do anything, you can pass. And that is how you play the game. The game ends when all of your characters, all of your 4 characters, have got an unhappy ending card placed on them. And as I say, the only way to do that is if they were minus points. Then what you do is you will simply then just add up your score of each of your characters, and then whoever has the least amount of points, i.e. is the most miserable family, they're the winners or losers, I guess, depending on how you want to play it. So there we are. What do I think of it? I really, really, really did love this game. It was fast and not a lot of downtime. My only criticism would be that when you first opened the pack, I was a little bit scared of the cards. I know that sounds a bit bizarre, but they looked very complicated. They looked quite fiddly and quite intricate and had loads of symbols on it. And I thought, wow, this does look a little bit confusing. And I then started to read the rule sheet, which is, it's not too extensive, which is probably pretty good because it doesn't really need to be anything more than that. Because it was small print, again, I was like, right, how do I... And so I was kind of a little bit... So I put it off for a while, actually trying to learn how to play this. And I kind of regret I did, because once you do read the rules and once you divide the cards up and you work out what cards are which type, it then becomes a lot easier, as you can imagine. So it would have been nice if they'd kind of distinguished somehow, maybe put it on the title or put a symbol, just to make each type of card slightly clearer for when you first start playing the game. That said, everything else I really like. The actual mechanism of overlaying cards is a really cool idea. I'm not surprised it's done elsewhere as well, in other board games maybe, or card games. And it's a little bit weird to begin with, because it's like I'm used to card, not see-through plastic cards. But they're really, really cool. It just adds something to the game. And it means that constantly your characters are changing. I love the fact that it is a take that game where you're trying to screw them over, you're trying to make them happy, whilst obviously making your cards miserable. The production, the illustrations are really, really lovely. I mean, look at the prints there. They're very detailed. They've got a nice character feel to them, you know, nice kind of gritty, gloomy feel to it. The gameplay is really fast. It's very easy to learn once you kind of decide for the card types. And it was one of those games that you just want to play again and again and again. I've really enjoyed it. It will be staying in my collection, and I will actually be digging out some of the other types that they've got. Hopefully they're more fantasy types as well, so then maybe we can review those. And they probably will be doing a different variation. I can't imagine, because if you just reskinned this, it would just be the same game, but just with different illustrations. I'm sure they'll be adding a few more variations to the actual gameplay. So I would definitely recommend Fairytale Gloom. Fairytale Gloom actually makes you cheery, not gloomy. Definitely recommend this. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you will be watching other reviews. We've done loads of board games and other card games as well. Plus we do film reviews, and also we do book reviews as well. And we do have a Wednesday show which is all about the fantasy news. So check that out every Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, fellow imps, remember to keep it unreal, especially if you're gloomy.